Good evening, everyone, and thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Sophie Erber. The latest jobs report is out, and the numbers are dismal, compared to expectations at least. President Joe Biden blames the Delta variant. KCAU 9's Washington correspondent Raquel Martin explains in our top story at 5.
Well, I know some wanted to see a larger number today, and so did I.
After months of more robust gains, the Labor Bureau reports just 235,000 jobs were added to the economy last month, just a fraction of the 735,000 projected.
We have a lot more work to do.
President Joe Biden says that starts with slowing the spread of the Delta variant.
Still, too many have not gotten vaccinated, and is creating a lot of unease in our economy and around our kitchen table. There's no question the Delta variant is why today's job report isn't stronger.
But many Republicans disagree. In a statement, the Republican National Committee blamed President Biden's economic policies for slow hiring and increased inflation rates.
This is really something that's coming uniquely from Republican quarters and not from economists.
Economist Mark Hamrick says there's little evidence linking recent federal aid to the recent hiring stall.
We've seen no indication in the states that opted to end the extended and more generous unemployment benefits have had a greater increase in employment. It simply hasn't happened.
The job report shows hospitality jobs made the smallest gains. Hamrick says the economy can't outrun the pandemic.
They are essentially joined at the hips. It is also the reason that we continue to have supply chain disruptions around the world.
Still, Hamrick says he does not expect a double dip recession. President Biden says he'll lay out new plans to combat the Delta variant next week. In Washington, Raquel Martin, KCAU 9 News.
Two of the poultry industry's biggest companies have agreed to pay nearly $35 million to settle up a lawsuit. Tyson Foods and Purdue Farms were accused of conspiring to dominate the industry and fix prices paid to farmers who raise those chickens. Now, the companies agreed to pay the settlements last week without admitting any wrongdoing in the process. The lawsuit remains pending against several other industry giants. That includes Pilgrim's Pride, Coach Foods, and Sanderson Farms. The lawsuit says the contract grower system the meat companies created pushed them deep into debt to build and maintain chicken barns that met with company standards. Today, South Dakota Governor Kristi Noem announced that the South Dakota National Guard troops on state active duty at the southern border will be returning home later this month. Governor Noem saying in a statement in part, quote, over the course of this mission, the scope of the drug smuggling and human trafficking taking place has been made clear to us. It is staggering. Every state in the nation, including South Dakota, is made less safe as a result. Now, Noem says this deployment to the southern border will not be the last, and that South Dakota is planning to send an additional 125 troops next month there on another federal mission. Well, the Stanton County teenager was sent to the hospital today after crashing into a cow with his car. The Stanton County Sheriff's Office says that incident happened just after 10 on Thursday evening. 19-year-old Blake Chesmore was traveling south of Stanton out on Highway 57 when he struck the cow. His car was sent into a ditch, coming to a rest on a fence line. The cow was killed in that crash. Chesmore was taken to an area hospital. The sheriff's office says he was wearing his seatbelt and the airbag prevented any serious injuries. That vehicle was completely totaled, though, and tonight considered a loss. The situation surrounding the withdrawal from Afghanistan, as we know, has become highly controversial and widely criticized. And some of the most directly affected right now are the soldiers, whether or not they fought in Afghanistan at one point in the past or are just returning home from Kabul. Many veterans say they feel like their work was for nothing. That's why tonight some Siouxland veterans are coming together to make them feel valued and appreciated, while several organizations are offering resources to help. 26 people officially became Siouxlanders today. U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services and U.S. District Court presented the citizenship candidates with their certificates. Chief Magistrate Judge Kelly K.E. Mahoney administered that oath of allegiance via video teleconference. These new citizens tonight come from 9 countries, including Mexico, Haiti, and El Salvador, among others. Bianca Monteroso said she is now glad to be a full citizen and encourages others to pursue this opportunity.
Even though, right now things can take a little bit longer, anybody can get this done, and, it's a big opportunity. So, yeah, I wish them everybody a lot of luck.
U.S. Immigration Services welcomed roughly 625 1,000 new citizens in the fiscal year 2020. If you'd like more information on how to become a citizen, plus immigrant benefits, visit our website right now at SiouxlandProud.com. And it's time tonight for our first check on the weather. Chief Meteorologist Scott Larson standing by. And Scott, depending on where you were today, mostly cloudy skies, and at least to me, it felt noticeably cooler with the absence of the sun.
Yeah, mostly cloudy, a little bit cooler out there today, Sophie. Thankfully, we've been able to remove the rain from the forecast, just a couple of sprinkles, the expectation for tonight. So looks like we're going to get some drier conditions after about 5 inches of rain in Sioux City over the last week. Highs today, those are in the 60s and 70s throughout Siouxland, and overnight low temperatures should be falling back into the 50s. Here's a preview of the Labor Day weekend. It looks like we should have some cloud cover hang around tomorrow morning, and then a high temperature in the mid 70s for the afternoon. More sunshine as we get to Labor Day Monday, and some more heat. Also, the 9 on 9 forecast coming up. Sophie?
All right, thanks a lot, Scott. Hurricane Ida and its remnants left a deadly trail of destruction across several states. In the Northeast, it was the most challenging storm since Superstorm Sandy, when unprecedented rainfall and tornadoes happened. In New York City, 11 out of 13 residents who lost their lives lived in basement-level apartments, unable to escape those high waters. A Queens mother and her son were killed when their basement apartment collapsed. Their neighbors still in a state of disbelief tonight.
Water came up within 5 minutes, like 4 feet, real fast.
Fuel, food, and water still difficult to come by in the area tonight. In Louisiana alone, power's still out for hundreds of thousands of people. And Hurricane Ida has hit animal shelters throughout the state of Louisiana specifically, but some Siouxlanders are trying to help those displaced pets. 9 dogs and 6 cats were flown into Sioux Falls Friday morning. Members of the Siouxland Humane Society transported them from Sioux Falls to Sioux City Shelter. Public Relations and Volunteer Manager Kelly Erie says these pets seemed nervous when they arrived, but that they quickly warmed up to their new home.
But I think they were all ready. You know, they were scared, and again, we are honored and blessed to be able to help out with this evacuation of the pets that were displaced because of Hurricane Ida.
These pets will be cared for at the Siouxland Humane Society, and they will be ready for adoption sometime next week. They've all received their shots. Dakota Valley High School physics class broke in the new school year by smashing concrete over their principal. Your eyes do not deceive you. Today, students laid Mr. Eric Somervold on a bed of nails, placed a concrete block on his chest, and then pounded him with that sledgehammer, but all in the name of physics. Their goal was to show how physics can make it so laying on sharp nails and being hit with a sledgehammer won't hurt if done right.
Part of that is that we're talking about inertia, and we're talking about objects in motion and objects at rest and stuff. With him laying on the bed with his back absorbing most of those points. Now they're sharp, as you saw. I mean, this is not fake. It's just about weight distribution and inertia.
And a little bit about trust. Todd Asherle has been teaching physics for a couple of decades now. He says he's found interactive and demonstrative type learning is the most beneficial in his classroom, especially when it comes to a topic that might be a little harder to grasp. He does plan on doing many more activities like this in the future. The global computer chip shortage is getting worse tonight. How automakers and car buyers alike are now being impacted. Coming up in about 10 minutes.
Thankfully, no shortage of nice weather for our Labor Day weekend coming up, with some sunny and seasonal conditions out there. Likely staying dry, too. The 9 on 9 forecast up next.
You're watching KCAU 9 News with Sophie Erber and Chief Meteorologist Scott Larson. This is KCAU 9 News at 5.
An interesting start to the Labor Day holiday weekend. I know this is kind of a last hurrah for summer for some people.
Typically, yes.
However, today, if you looked outside, didn't quite feel like it, but things are looking up.
Yeah, a little bit cooler out there today, Sophie. We've had cloudy skies as we observed the scene on the North Star Community Credit Union camera in Cherokee. We also had a fair amount of rain happen through the overnight period into this morning. Cherokee receiving 1.6 inches of precipitation between yesterday and this morning. 1.38 inches in Esterville, just over an inch at the Sioux Gateway Airport, with a good soaking that occurred right around 11 o'clock last night. Some pretty hefty rainfall. about 0.15 of an inch in Norfolk, Nebraska, and 0.07 in Yankton, South Dakota. So areas in western Siouxland did not receive quite as much precipitation. As we look at the radar picture now, you can see that we have cloudy skies spread across the area. So it's been quite soggy. It looks like we'll dry things out effectively here with that sunshine and relatively mild temperatures. Well, here's a view that came to us from Mobile, Iowa. Thanks to Candy Regan for passing in this picture. If you look closely, you can see some turkeys that are grazing out in the field there. That used to be some corn that was all cut down for harvest. So again, looks like some turkeys are picking through the leftovers there. If you have a picture that you want to share, make sure to go to SiouxlandProud.com, find the weather tab, and send us your photos.
I have seen a lot of turkeys roaming around lately.
Yeah, you know, they're probably getting ready for Thanksgiving.
All right, thanks a lot, Scott. Well, it's a game exploding in popularity, but there's a risk involved, the dangers of pickleball, coming up in about 8 minutes. But first, automakers are being forced to hit pause on production as they await essential computer chips. We dive deeper into the supply chain issues next. If you're in the market to buy or even sell a car, some big news. General Motors is just the latest company to announce a pause in their production, which means car prices are about to rise even higher. ABC's Andrew Dimbert explains.
This morning, assembly lines at General Motors temporarily coming to a halt. Production at 8 major plants put on pause, including 2 plants that produce the company's best-selling vehicle, the Silverado pickup. It's all because of a worsening shortage of computer semiconductor chips used in a variety of car parts.
Now we got the chips that are shorting what's being put out. We're talking about vehicles having like 1,000 chips.
GM not the only one. Ford, Toyota, and Nissan also pumping the brakes on production. The computer chips are mostly made in Asia, where right now the Delta variant of the coronavirus is hitting hard, forcing plant closures. The domino effect quickly extending to the big 3 in Detroit.
We're going to have this start-stop situation where it's like the lines come back on, they get shuttered back again. Some automakers, they're reworking their vehicles to have fewer chips. Certain options aren't even being offered, but it's not been enough to actually, completely curb all of the issues.
How does this impact you? With less supply comes increased demand, sending car prices skyrocketing. The average price of a new car last month was an eye-popping $42,832, and supplies are only tightening. Car dealerships had just under 1 million new vehicles on their lots during August. That's 72% fewer than during the same month in 2019 before the pandemic. Andrew Dimbert, ABC News, New York.
Apple says it's delaying a plan to scan U.S. iPhones for images of child sexually abusive material, saying it needs more time to refine the system before releasing it. Former U.S. security contractor Edward Snowden says your phone already knows a lot of personal data, such as where you are, who you talk to, and what you buy.
And now they're telling your device what to look for. And if they find something that's forbidden, that's against the law, for example, child abuse material is what they're talking about initially. But tomorrow it could be something else. It could be some new category of material. You don't know what they're scanning for.
The company had revealed last month it was working on a tool to detect known images of child sexual abuse that would work by scanning files before they're uploaded to iCloud. One researcher warned the algorithm could be fooled to frame innocent people. Well, News Nation Prime comes your way every night at 7 Central. At 6, there is the Donlin Report. Here's a preview.
Tonight on the Donlin Report, a huge disappointment. Fewer Americans are going back to work. The White House Labor Secretary talks with me about why so many don't want to and the industries most in trouble. Now here's Leland Vittert with a preview of On Balance.
Thanks, Adrian. Division over the Texas abortion restrictions. Why one of the nation's most conservative news outlets is bashing the new state law, and why the law might not stand the test of time. That's coming up on Balance tonight, followed by News Nation Prime.
You can see some of the channels that carry it here on your screen, or just be sure to check your local guide. The sounds of pickleball are filling cities across the country as the sport gains popularity, but as the game rises in popular status, injuries are spiking. What the moves mean trouble next. It's a sport that's skyrocketing, including here in Siouxland. Dina Baer has more on the health benefits and risks of pickleball.
We see people fall and get wrist injuries. We're seeing people kind of land on their back or land on their hips.
Never, ever step back. That's when you catch your heels, you fall back, you hit your head, you call 911, and you go to the hospital. Don't do that.
It's a risky move that caused Michael Callan's back injury.
Something I guess you're not supposed to do, that's backpedal for a shot, which I did, and then proceeded to fly in the air and land not on my head, but on my back, and fractured lower 2 vertebrae.
The 61-year-old is still recovering and sitting out the season. But Lisa Wenningstrom is back on the court after an ankle fracture last year.
I was up at the net where we dink the balls, and I just wanted to get that last hit, and I rolled my ankle and just went down and ended up chipping an ankle bone off, and it was extremely painful.
It's another safety tip from Bill. The fewer steps, the better.
I like to refer to this as Zen pickle. Be calm, keep your feet calm, keep them on the ground, and just move to the ball with a step.
We give the advice to people who have not been doing a lot of physical activity to almost any sport is start slow, don't overdo it, take breaks, meaning take a rest day in between. Just don't try to do everything that somebody who's been playing for a long time all at once.
But the benefits of the game far outweigh the risks.
Out here, everybody has a medical story. So it's just fabulous that we're all out here being athletic.
Take a live look outside right now in Cherokee on a cloudy night. Scott returns with one more check on your forecast right after this break. Before we wrap up here at 5, let's check in first with Tim for what's coming up at 6. Hi, Tim.
Hey, Sophie. Good football Friday, I guess you could say here. Team's about ready to get after it tonight. Hopefully it stays dry. Coming up at 6, the Sioux City Community School District once again releasing weekly COVID-19 reports. At 6, a closer look at how many students and staff members have tested positive for the virus so far this school year. Big weekend here in Sioux City. It's Labor Day, of course, but it's also Art Splash weekend and preparations for the 27th annual Art Splash underway this afternoon. Downtown Sioux City, right on the Art Center complex. Admission this year is free, as well as being staged downtown. We'll check in with some of the 50-plus vendors, get a check on what's happening. We'll have that coming up tonight at 6 as well. In the meantime, back to you folks in the studio.
All right, we'll see you soon, Tim. A good weekend weather-wise to have Art Splash outdoors.
That's right. It looks like we should enjoy some nice conditions out there tonight, Sophie. A low of 59, mostly cloudy, maybe a sprinkle or 2, but I think those Friday night football games should be in fine shape. A few leftover clouds for tomorrow morning, then afternoon sunshine, a high of 76. And it looks like the Labor Day holiday weekend is going to be fantastic. Highs in the 70s and 80s and some more sun.
All right, thanks, Scott. Thank you for joining us. We'll all see you here tonight at 6 with Tim and Jake. Until then, have a great night.